Hi, I'm Kevin Quigley. Welcome to Tarot Off the Cuff. Jaymi Elford is a consummate tarot reader. She is practical and down to earth. She thinks about tarot, reading techniques, and the cards non-stop.
Hi everyone, this is Jaymi Elford. I am the author of Tarot Inspired Life and the Triple Goddess Tarot, which is the deck I'll be using for today's reading for Tarot Off the Cuff. I drew the Death card for today's reading here. And I love this card because this is more of a feminine focused deck and it's card 13. Death falls in the mother category. So rather than having a skeletal figure like many of the Rider-Waite-Smith decks have, here we have a woman dressed in all black with a mask over her face, with her scythe coming over her head, and she's holding carnations, which are in some cultures flowers for the dead. She's standing in a cemetery, and what I love about this card is the fact that death happens to be in the mother's stage of the maiden mother crone journey, where if as a maiden or a young child, people go through the dependency stage where we're constantly gathering new information. We're looking to others to teach us, to give us input about the world we live in and how we're supposed to act, whether that is cultural values, family values, historical documentation. We soak that all in, and it teaches us where and maybe who we want to be in the world at later stages. The maiden is constantly gathering this information, and the moment she becomes a mother, that's when the transformation from being dependent on others goes into starting to share and shape the individuality that we all carry inside ourselves. So we take all this information, all this input, and we learn about it, we synthesize it, and then we come up with our own ideas of how we are going to give back and how we are going to interact in that world and become the identity that we are. For people that can have children, it can be a real powerful stage transition for when maidens become mothers, and then they teach their learnings on and pass it down to their genetic children or adopted children. I know I was adopted, so I, don't have a strong connection with my birth family or my given family. I don't even know my birth family, but my given family, the adopted people. But they did teach me a lot of lessons, both good and kind of bad, throughout the years. And I've learned and had to deal with a lot of that stuff. Death is transition, as I've been talking about. That is one of the meanings of this card. And so when I do see it in clients' readings, the message to me is there's a change afoot. You're going to have this big event, or maybe an internal event, a change of perspective, a change of heart or sight in your psyche that's going to manifest itself, and that's going to kind of do a little bit of upheaval. A lot of people, when they see death come at the table, they gasp. Oh, is this going to mean I'm going to die? No. Sometimes other cards around death might suggest that. I've never had it happen. I've heard of other readers who have predicted deaths based off of other cards not even relating to the death card. So for a lot of us, death is just that transition. It's that going from one stage to the next, and to be cautious that it is coming and it is arriving. I also love the fact that death happens more often than we think about it. Every night we go to bed, we fall asleep. Some people consider that a small death, because when we wake up refreshed, we're born in the world. We're not the same person in a way we were the night before. We've learned what we needed to learn. We wake up, we've integrated all that knowledge, and now we can carry on with our life, whether that is going back to the day job, transitioning from high school to college to a new job, or a gap year before going and deciding what else to do. That's right, college kids and high school students, congratulations. I get death a lot when I do readings for graduates, which it tends to scare them, but it's amazing because if you think about it, it is that transition. You are ending high school. That's a huge phase for a lot of Americans and some Westerners. Where after you get that piece of paper, do you go out and get a job? Do you take a gap year and go out and maybe travel the world unhindered from being a grown-up, trying to figure out where you want to settle or maybe what you want to do? Do you go to a smaller college or a local 2-year degree school first to get all your general electives out of the way first? And then go on to a bigger university where you can hone in on what you've decided. Nothing is really set in stone. There are times in the past where I wished I had taken a gap year from college. I went from high school to college just like the traditional society kind of says that we're supposed to once we've graduated. I wish I hadn't. Towards the end of my college year, I was kind of disillusioned, and I felt like they wanted to keep me in, and this heavy weight on, where do I go now? Because a lot of the schools back then didn't help you go from college to like a job scenario. So I didn't feel like I had well-rounded worldly experiences. Sometimes school, that transition keeps you locked into one way of thought over the other. So another meaning of death is that breakthrough, to try something you've never done, to break yourself out of that reflection, to see new experiences, new places, worldly travel, and to be able to understand how that might reflect back on you and how you can take that information, synthesize it into something new, and become the next stage of your evolution and where you're supposed to be. It's a huge world out there. And death as an archetype is such a powerful thing. It can teach us so many new ideas and so many lessons about where we have been, who we are now, and where we want to go in the future, and how we can honor lineage and tradition through the connections between the family, the society, the bonding that we have in our relationships. In a relationship reading, death does come up as a transition. It could be a good one. It could be, you're getting married. A lot of people, when they get this card in that sort of reading, would probably freak out. Oh, he's going to die. I'm going to die. We're going to break up. No, you might actually get married. It's a huge, momentous occasion to where you're going from one transition, one change, one theme to a new one. So don't be scared by death. Death can be a wonderful thing when it is looked in that light of transformation and change, from going from one aspect of yourself to a completely new aspect. It can be a joyous thing. It can be pretty scary too, depending on what you're going through. It can be a scary aspect when you are depressed and you're trying to get out and yet you can't. But sometimes you just have to relax into the moment and know that spirit, God, goddess, whoever you believe in the pantheons you believe in, has your back. And I'm not trying to do like a positivity thing here. You just got to recognize and honor where you're at, where you've been, and then figure out how you can synthesize the two to move you forward. And that is how death as a message to me comes through in a tarot reading, where it invites you to step out, to shove off the past things that no longer serve you, and become stronger, become more empowered, more self-assured and reliant as a person living on this planet right now. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, this is Kevin.
Hi, this is Nooch.
Thanks for watching.
If you like what you saw, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe. You'll know when new ones are coming. And share with your friends.
We'll see you soon.